Today I wanted to go over a pattern that's very popular with trading and the markets, and it's called the rising wedge pattern. This pattern helped me on Friday profit off NVDA, and it went to the downside, guys. NVIDIA dropped. I used this pattern to decide that it was going to drop some more, and I profited off it. I could have profited way more off it if Friday didn't have that quadruple witching thing going on, but it's completely fine. Still worked out in my favor, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did it in this video. So on the left side of your screen, you're going to see this. I have a chart pattern, and it's called the rising wedge pattern, and it's super simple. I know a lot of you guys like those trend lines drawn to draw those trend lines, but how do you use them to profit off a stock, right? To profit off of it. Well, here we have an uptrend. We have an uptrend. That's why it's called rising. All right. And we draw our trend line on both the lower end of the channel and the upper end of the channel. So we have our trend lines. Now, if you look at the price of this, or I mean the candles of this, you see that the candle started to break and hold below it. Even though this is just a picture, it does work in trading as well. It started breaking and hold below that trend line, and it fell to the downside. Now, this would be an opportunity to profit off of puts, which means that you're betting against the stock, or maybe shorting the stock if you're not comfortable with trading options. Same thing happened. This pattern could be found on NVIDIA as well. All right, so here we have NVIDIA. This is the 4-hour chart on NVIDIA. You could have used the 1-hour chart or whatever chart that you're comfortable with using. But here we have the dip, obviously, that happened in the markets on around September 8th. It kind of consolidated there and started bouncing and creating a new uptrend, right? We see the line drawn, we see the trend line drawn on the lower part of the channel and the upper part of the channel. Now we see over here it broke. All right, the price started to consolidate under that trend line. You see it broke below it, and it hit all the way back to that old support, which was around 477. When did I enter puts? Now is the question. All right, so we see that we had a gap right there. Gaps tend to get filled. Okay, gaps tend to get filled, especially when there's a lot of market volatility like what we saw. Gaps tend to get filled, and fortunately for us, it got filled that day, which made it a great entry point because it also didn't break back above that trend line to continue its trend. We see right here, created the gap, came back up to fill the gap, did not cross above that trend line. Even if it did, it probably would have rejected, and we see right here, we see that wick form, and it closed here. We got in around 500 price, 499 price, because it filled that gap and did not come back above that trend line to continue its uptrend. And this is when we entered for a swing. You could have entered for a day trade. That was probably 30% for the day trade, I think more. But at the end of the day, on Friday, the next day, it ended up being over 100%. Could have been more, but that quadruple witching happened. So you see right here, could not, the next day could not pass that trend line, so we didn't have to cut losses. It continued to reject that trend line and came back down. This was about a 22-point drop on the 4-hour candle, which made puts a great profit. It made it a great profit. Puts are always a great profit because volatility is shown more when the stocks are falling. All right, because people are more quicker to exit than they are to enter stocks. And this was great use of the rising wedge. So let's go to this picture. Exact thing. Exact picture. See? Fell below that trend line, continued to the downside. Fell below that trend line, continued to the downside. Came back up, still couldn't get past that trend line. Continue down. It'll probably go lower. We'll see what happens, but great opportunity nonetheless. And if you were in the chat, you caught this. Good luck to everybody in their trading this Monday to Friday. Good luck. If you guys want to join the chats, the link will be in the bio. If not, enjoy this educational, and good luck to everybody.